Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go ahead and start this meeting off with the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands for one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item up is a roll call. Tonight, there are 4 council members present, 1 not present. Next item up is consider approving the minutes held from September 24th, please.
I'd make a motion we approve those minutes.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second? Second by Bob. All in favor? Next item is public hearing on GA ordinance.
This is Kathy.
Yeah, sorry, Kathy.
That's fine. So every year at this time, the state comes up with guidelines for us to go by for maximum amounts to use. So we usually have a public hearing and a first reading and a second reading, set those. I gave you each sheet from the raw maximums that we've been using this year. And it looks like the ones that we're gonna be using next year, they've gone up from $45, like $29 for the maximums. And then also for heating maximums, they've gone up anywhere from $7 to $38. We like to go by those state guidelines. We are allowed to, that would be great. We've done that always past. To do that.
What's that for?
It's general assistance. We have guidelines. We have to go by with the state. And what it is when somebody comes in to apply, we do those maximums. That's the total amount, and then we have to subtract any income that they get from that. See if they qualify for general assistance. Go on. And then public hearing.
Quick question
What's that?
here. This general assistance. So this is something that the state is mandating that all towns have to do.
The towns, yes, you should. Most towns do have their own general program.
But is it mandated by the state?
Correct. We go by their guidelines. And actually, they reimburse us. We're reimbursed 70% of whatever we give a month. They send us a check 70% back.
It is a very good deal, folks.
Get a lot of use.
Yeah.
We only budget for about 20,000, so we're getting 14 back.
Like, again, like I said, it does seem like a very good deal, folks. I mean, it's only getting 70% of our money back.
So, it's people that are under a certain level of the poverty line.
Right, you have to meet certain guidelines in order.
This general assistance that helps to do what?
It helps them if they're on work.
Yeah.
We help them with rent if
Yeah.
need be, current rent, not any past due rent. Heating, if they need heating, but then again, we also have a heating program that we use as well. So, and it's a very thorough application that they have to go through to see if they qualify.
And
They have to show their income, their expenses. I mean, we have to see their bank accounts and, yeah.
Do they have to be a resident of Oakland for a certain
Yes.
amount of time?
You have to be a resident.
I make a motion, we accept that as our first reading of the new GA maximum.
Using the 2026 new one, the new rate, Dana?
The new numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that a second, Kelly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion's made second by Kelly. All in favor? Thank you. The municipal warrant has been signed at this time, Kelly.
Nope, Kathy has that.
Right.
This is for the November election that gets posted at post office, Buddy's, corner store, kind of allowing us to
It's my news rise.
hold an election.
Yeah.
And Dave Broder couldn't make it, but we had him stop in to sign, so we have original signatures. Even his yesterday.
You're black, keep that. Our turn.
Better.
You can do it blue.
Yeah, there you go. I have blue also.
I thought where Jan wasn't here, we wouldn't get the devil for using blue. Yeah, right.
And I was, we, after the plan.
And the next item up is a Memorial Hall update.
Yep, so I just wanted to give everybody an update. Met with Mark Stevens Monday afternoon. To go over the space that Birchwater Beauty Lounge wants to lease. We looked at materials, fire suppression. He made recommendations on a few things that we need to do, but they get an exit sign above the door. Cause when they did the suppression in there, or the alarm or whatever they didn't put anything in that room because of its used for storage. So AJ and his crew have emptied out the back room, halfway through the front room. The lawyer got me back the lease agreement yesterday. I forwarded that on to you guys to read. I had drafted one that was simple. I thought it was pretty good. It was 2 pages, and then he sent this back that's 7 pages. It's a lot of jargon. But it protects the town. We don't even have a contract signed with Studio One. So I think we provide them with payment bonds, and he provides us with the certificate of insurance. So I may have him sign one as well. Just to protect the town. But you have any questions on the lease?
Have you talked to the people, from,
Jen and Curtis,
yeah,
they're fine.
they've seen this?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
I didn't know if they
I sent it
got
to
a
them.
copy yet or not.
Yeah, I sent it to them yesterday too. Told them we were discussing it tonight. I'd let them know of any changes, but they were fine with it. So I guess if we're good with it, I'd like a motion to sign it and move forward. This,
I'd make a motion, we let you, sign this, and make it legal with the folks there. I assume there's a place, yeah, there's a place that's them to sign too, so.
Motion's made. Do we have a second? Second by Bob, all in favor?
and I just wanted to make you aware that we had 2 Oakland businesses donate. They're gonna do a walkway from that entrance to the pavement. It's like 10 or 12 feet. Lakeside Landscape's going to donate the materials. Brick pavers, they'll make it nice. And then Steve Zambelli is going to do the labor. So it should take about a day. But then that way they'll have their own entrance off the paved. That's it for that. Cascade property update. I had a meeting today for the Woolen Mill property with TRC. They're working with KB Cog to do a brownfield assessment to see about getting funding to clean that up. Guy was very knowledgeable. There is some asbestos. You can see it, and it's hanging on the ground, and it's in one of the boiler buildings. But they're gonna go back and we're gonna write their report, they're gonna make a recommendation, and then we can talk funding. They said that if the town were to acquire that property, we would not be held liable for the previous stuff because it's considered a abandoned dangerous building right now. And I'm like, the guy owes like thousands of back taxes, so we would take the property pretty much. But he said, we've done everything right by not touching it. I said, okay, well, we need to do something about it. And then John Templin, and his company is going to buy the left side of the big long building, big tall building there, and the Ware Butler building. So, and he's already made improvements, replaced the broken windows, put cameras up. So it's
Who is this?
John Templin. John Templin, cabinet maker, so bringing it back.
Yep.
So they'll be manufacturing back in that building.
Is that the guy that originally was down there?
Someone that worked for him. It's the original guy, but, they want the long parking lot to be able to back the wood trailers in, unload the wood in the long building, and then have all that space. To do it. Yeah.
Who did they buy that from?
Well, that's the thing, where Butler owns the nicer building on the corner. That has the nice siding on it and stuff. And the big long building in the back is part of the Cascade properties. So he actually found previous owner of Cascade Properties LLC and has been in contact with him. So I think he lives in Virginia. But he found his son and then made contact with him and has developed this rapport with him. So he may get that building signed over from him, but then there will be back taxes paid on that.
That's Carol Tipper, right? But still.
No, Jerry Tipper was Cascade Woolen Mill. After the woolen mill closed, it became Cascade Properties LLC. And then they had like the wood people in there and they had KD displays in there. And there was like a couple
We have
different,
Woodsmith get in there, remember that?
Yeah.
Woodsmith
Couple
brought the
different-
big old build wood.
Okay.
That was Brian Woodsmith.
yeah,
So those are the same people that own the mill that he's negotiating with.
Jerry Tipper owned the mill. Jerry Tipper sold it to, or became Cascade Properties LLC.
Right, which is the same people he's negotiating to buy his building from.
No, it's a totally different guy, named Michael Dye. It's a big gigantic puzzle, but we're slowly figuring it out.
So we don't own any of it.
No, we haven't taken it yet, because we don't want to be
I'm
held
just
liable.
asking.
We don't want to be held liable. But if we can get something in writing saying you're not responsible for the contaminants in the ground or asbestos in the buildings, they're gonna help us with a pathway to clean the property safely and help and pay for it. So, and help remediate it. Whether it's just knocking the brick in, capping the property.
You're talking the water side of the road now, where the kids get in there and play and it's a dangerous situation, but we've never taken it because we didn't want the town to be liable for anything that happened there. If we owned it and somebody gets hurt in there, that we're liable for it. Where it is now, the town doesn't have any liability there.
Didn't we just do work on the road going down there though?
We picked up the boats. We cleaned up, there were 5 abandoned boats down there and trailers and trash.
What did that cost?
And a
Public Works
homeless person.
hauled it to our landfill.
They,
The time, it cost us time,
they cut some brush back.
but they did cut
Cleared
some
it out.
brush, but they spent like 4 days there.
But there is a dangerous situation on the
It
water
is.
side of the road down there with the old foundation of the old building, and that's where there's asbestos and there's oil and different stuff in the ground there that we don't want to
It's
own.
full of
How
water.
come the company that was there wouldn't make clean it up? Interesting.
They dissolved, they're gone.
They took off. So we went in every building today down there.
So they just get an exemption? Just get a free pass?
They just disappeared.
Yeah.
Typically, we would foreclose on their property. And,
Now, we're about to sold to Hammond Lumber, so. when-
right, except that property,
they-
that building didn't go with it. Yes,
Property that was down there that you said that where Butler had, what year did they purchase it? Because that used to be all under Cascade ownership.
right. I think when the woodsmiths, when the woodsmithing company that was there before, that did the cabinet manufacturing, they bought it from whoever, because they were there for over 20 years.
I'm just wondering if Cascade had it, they went on, how did that property ever become separated?
Cascade Properties LLC dissolved in 2012. There was a fire in 2010.
So where Butler bought it in 2012?
I don't, no. Where Butler just took it over like.
Where Butler just took it over
took
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Brian Smith owned the wooden building down there. And he ain't in the town of Oakland. I don't remember how that was. But somehow we got our hands on it and we assisted him getting in there and becoming Woodsmith LLC. He sold to a gentleman who owned the laundromats there in Winslow to take in, so he can build furniture. Brian was gonna retire. And then, so the gentleman who owned that sold it to Ware Butler. Cause they were gonna do all that furniture themselves. So now Ware Butler had it for maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. And they closed it down long before they sold to him.
And there's so much vandalism down there. Every window in that building's been broken and spray painted, and it's awful. But they've gone through and they put up cameras and they have an alarm system now. And I guess they scared the Jesus out of some kids the other day.
So when it's all said and done, is the town gonna own that road going down through the loop?
Possibly, eventually,
Why would we?
because hopefully it'll be a community space down there once we get it cleaned up. It's excellent fishing. It's a beautiful kayak launch area. Just a thought. Or, we keep one of the foundations and find an investor and have a nice little restaurant by the street. So that's all I have on that. Lions Club would like to sell Christmas trees again at our property on the corner. We're okay with that.
I'd make a motion, we allow them to do that again.
Motion's been made, seconded by Bob, all in favor.
Thank you. ATV trail update. Very close to being complete. The phase 1 from Williams Court to behind the Quonset hut. As you remember, we got $85,000 grant to do that from the state. Jeff and crew have done an amazing job. Sometimes you can't even tell it's kind of there because they made it so natural looking with rocks. They paved the beginning of it to behind the Quonset hut just to keep the dust down from going into the schools. Pretty close to opening. We'll probably do some sort of ribbon cutting. The trouble is we have no place to park yet because that comes in phase 2, which we'll find out next month if we get the $250,000 to build the parking lot. So I'd like to ask permission to maybe, when we're ready, and we open that section of trail that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know, there'll be limited parking for trucks and trailers at the town office, you know, in front of the town office and behind the town office.
Now, they can still get there from the other end of the trail too, right? The trail is open now down from Oak Street down to that area?
10 lots to here, no,
Oh.
it's blocked off.
I knew it was. I didn't know if it still was or not.
Yeah. It's, the gate's locked behind the Quonset hut, because the fence isn't done yet.
Yeah. But they had Jersey barriers across the trail in places, a couple places too. But those aren't going yet.
We're not, no, it's because it's not open.
But when you're doing
When
what
we're
you're
ready,
talking
we'll-
about, they will have
We'll move
access.
them all.
So
yeah.
they'll be able to park anywhere up on the trail, like on the,
They won't be able to get.
A Rod Road there. They'll be able to park up there and ride into town, yeah. 6 Rod Road, I mean, in Fairfield Center. That goes
Oh,
up.
Horn
up to
Hill?
Horn Hill.
Yeah, they could park
What's the
in
name
Fort
of that
Hill.
road?
Right now.
It's kind of a,
But there is a parking area up there where people
Yes.
park,
yes.
and they'll be able to unload there before our
Yeah.
parking lot is ready and ride into town. Or they can go and get on it up in Solon and ride all the way if they want.
What she was intending, is there's parking available here on the weekends?
And they can just shoot up Pleasant
Yeah.
Street, take off and go to Greenbelt.
I was up there this weekend, and that's not locked, just so you, it wasn't on Sunday.
The Kinney logging was moving their stuff out.
Just wanted to, wasn't locked. It's on-
Yeah, they were gonna lock it when everything's out.
So that trail's gonna connect to the railroad bed on the other side of the road, is that what that, how's that? work?
So right behind the school Quonset hut, it's the start of the rail trail.
Where's the Greenville?
To 10 lots, and then you can go to Norwich Walk and then Madison.
Okay. Now,
We'll be a trailhead.
right, pick one, it's always something. So right now, the old Waddle Road, you have an entrance and exit for the trail,
Right.
and that loops all the way around. It comes out on Smithfield Road. Now,
I've never
you've
been
got,
on that one.
you've got trail access from the corner store down now. So like if they come out the Smithfield Road,
Smithfield Road's out.
right,
Old Waterville Road, you mean?
well, that's one way to go, the water road. But it loops around and it'll come out over on the Smithfield Road. I guess what I'm getting at is it just needs a little bit of road access. to
Oh,
make
at
it-
the top of.
To make it a
Smithfield,
complete loop.
By the overlook,
Yes,
just don't, that whole section, the new tenants have closed that part of the trail.
what do you mean?
I don't think you can use that trail piece anymore.
We just use it on down there, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Say anything to me.
I use it all the time. I guess what I was saying, just for a little bit of room, it would complete a whole loop. It takes about an hour to use that trail, and then you can access all the local businesses down here. And I don't know why nobody's ever brought it up, but,
Yeah.
I mean, people already do it anyways,
Yeah.
and it's not, to me, it's not a big deal. But it would be nice if it was made. But sometimes people come out and they're looking for a way to get down there, you don't see anything.
Yeah, we're still working on signage. You know, I wanna be 99.9% ready with signage and rules and everything before we say, okay, we're open. But people are chomping at the bit. Okay, that's enough. So is it okay to offer limited parking
On the weekend?
on the weekends?
Okay, good idea.
Okay, good, thank you. Update on 219 High Street, Terminex has set bait traps for the rats, talked about last week. There's gonna be a 2-week waiting period, and then, I think we're gonna provide the tenants or the owners with some sort of transfer station pass. And I've also looked into possibly dumpster rental, a big roll-off rental that they spill and it'll get hauled off. So, the Terminex cost is gonna be about $1,400 annually. So it's not that bad. And instead of leaving the property or whatever, we're gonna set up a payment plan with the residents. Whether it's a year or 5 years to pay it.
So if she has to pay the determine that.
Yeah, we're paying it up front and then,
So how much is that a month? Over something. Cause there's another company going around, they're doing it for $50 or $60.
my brain's tired, so I gotta do math on my phone. 160.
You know,
Quick question, so Terminex is saying it's gonna take them over a year to get rid of the rat infestation.
Well, they bait and then they go back, they check the bait and then they will set different types of traps, different areas. And they only want to bait the one property right now
Right,
because they don't want to bait all the properties that are affected. Because then the rats are going farther. They contain the rats to the one property for now, let them eat the bait, die, and then, you know, start the cleanup process. Then they'll come back and they'll put bait in different areas once, you know, things have been cleaned up.
so Terminex wants a commitment from the town of Oakland for at least a year to take care of the rat problem. Well, personally, myself, I tell Terminex to jump in the golf with me. Because I actually know from my own experience, it doesn't take a year to get rid of a rat infestation. It only takes a few months and it's gone. But I've dealt with it at my place. And I got a guy who did it for me, did everything he needed to do, and he only had to come back once. I haven't seen him again since. So it sounds to me like Terminex or whoever you're using, just looking for some free money to me.
I know Modern Pest, they make you sign an annual contract too, and it has to be a year.
Yeah, because they want free money.
there's a house just down the road from him, named Rusty. And he has a company come there right now. I think it's $60 a month.
Can you find out the name?
I will. Should know because I just talked to the guy. I told him to go down and see that lady. Leave his card. Because they canvassed the whole street. They were looking for business. But, so. If it's the place I'm thinking, I'm just going to get a clutter around it. Which makes good habitat.
Right, which they want to bait it first, then wait a couple weeks, then clean up.
Now, originally, there was a hog farm down below me, and then there was, a trailer on the Gage Road, South Gage Road. And originally, those rats came from those two places, so when those two places were cleaned up, the rats migrated.
Across the street.
Well, they migrated to wherever, they were at my house a year ago, but they seem to be gone. I baited and I have a dog that it seems to. It seems to be gone.
Kelly, when this all transpired in last meeting. If the town is going to do a cleanup, you're gonna contact, I believe, an attorney as to whether you do.
The town isn't going to, I don't want to put our employees in that situation. We're gonna provide, they have trucks and friends with trucks. So we're gonna provide them with like a dump flyer, transfer station pass to just go haul.
Okay, but the question I think was, can you legally garnish the property tax? The cost.
Probably, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather set up a payment,
Now,
whether it's
Is
a
it-
point. I mean,
is
they're
that
on
codes?
hard times, so. I mean, $5 a week if that's what it takes, just something.
there's certain ordinances or codes or prohibiting that much. much storage on your property,
Oh, yeah, it's definitely property maintenance violation. Absolutely. Nate's been up there and he's assessed the property. He's given him a warning.
yeah.
He's given him, I think, a notice of violation as well. So now it's like, do you want to go to court? Do we want to waste taxpayer money on this to go to court with this guy? Or is it voluntary compliance? And we always like to try to be we want voluntary compliance. Like, we'll work with you, work with us. Let's work together and get this done. And so that's
Now, I've
what
seen
they've agreed to
two,
do.
two RVs moved in there just recently.
Yeah, those should be hopefully gone soon, yeah. They told him to leave.
All right.
Great question, me some kind of foolish place. Have you guys actually spoke to these people and see if they're actually willing to do the work of cleaning the place up and down?
Yeah, Nate's been,
So they say that they're willing to do the work and clean up. That's good.
even has private trucks. That's all I have. Our new fire truck arrived. We paid for this fire truck over the last. I don't think we put money in this year and we didn't put money in last year, so this truck's been paid for a while. And it finally arrived, so if we adjourn the meeting, we can go out back and see the truck with our fire chief. I'd like to do that.
That it? Kelly, do you have anything?
I have two things. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but maybe just because I drive it every single day. When you get to the top of Research Road, when you connect to the new bridge, there's a huge lip.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm thinking plow trucks are gonna hit that and it's gonna be a
I
problem.
talked with DOT yesterday. They're aware of it. They have called a contractor in to go fix it, but everybody's super busy right now.
Okay.
So they are aware of it and they plan on fixing it along with the hole down by North Bay's house that has cones all over it. and a
Oh,
piece
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
wood.
yeah.
It's a sunken catch base.
And the other thing was, are we at all concerned about the property on Fairfield Street that burned that's still sitting there?
Yeah, I gotta talk with Nate. I know the owner was there, living in a tent out back. Now I can't find him. So he was waiting for insurance money. They have 90 days to get insurance and all that. And so I think, I'm not sure if he located him or not. He was trying to find him last time.
With winter coming and snow load.
Oh, yeah. Knock it down.
Yeah, just one. I swung into the overlook the other day to look at the foliage and the mountains in the distance and when I came out and turned right to come downtown Oakland,
Big hole there.
there is
Big hole there.
there is a hole that will eat your car unless it's a four-wheel drive. And I don't know that it's the town's responsibility really,
Is it on High Street?
but
Is it on High Street or?
By the overlook.
It's
Okay.
it's on the Smithfield Road, but it's on it's a result of people coming out of there and turning right and giving it a little gas, spinning enough to blow the dirt out. It either needs gravel or somebody at DOT needs to fix it.
Can have Jeff fill
Needs a
in.
hot top apron into that driveway is what it
Yeah,
needs
yeah.
for a long-term fix, but
Yeah.
gravel would help for now.
Or a very large rock.
Yeah.
It's a very big hole. Okay. Jeff likes rocks.
That's all.
All right, get that.
Dana.
I had one question for the fire chief.
Yeah.
Where is it? There he is. Dave, last time you got a new piece of equipment, they furnished training for your employees. Did this company do that too?
The training was offered, doing in-house training yourselves. Everything is, the pump is basically the same as the prior truck, so it's nothing to learn yourself.
Okay, all right. I just wondered, when I saw it in the driveway the other day, you guys were looking it over and I didn't know. I remember last time you told us they provided so many hours of
Yeah.
their training person to come.
It's
That's the only thing I wondered.
They put, you'll have to look, but they put a pipe and wrong number door.
Oh, there. That's good.
The only thing I have is right by the corner store. There's some huge holes in the corner store where it wears every year. We ought to tackle that fall winter because it's gonna be a ice pit.
Yeah, State Road, but I'll see if Jeff.
Kelly,
Motion to adjourn.
I have a quick question for you.
I mentioned, at the last meeting, I'm just kind of curious as to where we're at with setting the, town budget up as a referendum, the same way the school budget is. I did bring that up at one of the last meetings. I was kind of wondering where you guys are at with that, what's gonna happen with anything, what's gonna happen.
you had a good answer for it last time. If you don't, then we
I
can.
did. I'm not sure I remember, but we talked about, the previous town manager, I believe, conveyed the message that she wished that there were a couple of things that were changed. Other people have talked about changes to the charter. And, I would think that that would be a topic for some council meeting to begin the discussion of that and include your suggestion.
Because I know that, it was you or Mr. Rizzo, one of you guys had mentioned that. Part of the reason why we do the shorthand thing is because so people actually come to the meetings and stuff while the budget's being negotiated. But the other side to that would be that, if it's mirrored after the school budget referendum, that is what happens. Everybody goes to school, they break down the budget, they explain where the money's going, why it's going to this spot and that spot. So you could do the same thing with a town budget. And then within a day or two, or how many days it is after that, you could actually hold a town-wide referendum to see if the budget passes or if it doesn't, the same way the school does. Sounds pretty simple.
Did you go to those meetings, George?
What means?
That's what I wondered. What meetings? The ones that the school department put on to explain the budget to the
Yes,
people.
I did actually go to district budget meeting. I go to district budget meeting every year. Where they sit down, they break it down, and I go to the town one where they sit down and they break it down. Over at the Performing Arts Center. But
Usually the school one, they don't advertise it much and they don't get much of an audience there.
We had what, 80 people vote, 88 people vote on the school budget this year. We had over 140 at town meeting.
it wasn't a big turnout, but I truly believe that referendum is the way it should be done. I think that's the most fair and accurate way,
That's
not just a show of hands.
the way the school department does it is a pretty poor example of an improvement.
Well,
Because they don't advertise it, they don't do much discussion, and, there's very few people ever go to it because they don't know that it's happening. And, then they go, when you say 88 people voted on the school budget, we had more than that voted for the town budget,
How many people we have?
6,300 or so, something like that.
So we need to work on that.
What's that?
I said we probably need to work on both. We got 80 people voting for the town budget.
For the school budget, 88 people for
Yeah,
the school.
140 people on the town budget.
but
And I never liked the way, raise a hand type thing either, because you could like, there's no discretion in that, like, you see a bunch of people raising their hand, well, I don't wanna be the asshole that says no. Not that that would bother me, but it might bother some people. And maybe it should be a ballot type thing.
how many people actually, when they put the school budget out to referendum, how many people actually voted at the referendum?
88
Just at the referendum,
total. Yeah, like on June 12th or whatever the day was, we had 88 people come and vote
on the school budget,
from 8 AM to 8 PM, 7 AM to 8 PM.
on the school budget.
Yep,
How many people actually showed up and did the vote on the town budget when they did the show of hands?
over 140.
So 140 out of what, 6,300 people?
That's
not
not
very
all
good.
voters, that's people,
Right.
they're not all.
I made
old
all
enough to
department
vote.
heads go. And
No, I mean, so you got 6,300 people, maybe you got over 4,000 that are able to vote,
Something like that.
but still, I mean,
So you see that it would be a discussion between the people who think that, as you do, that it should be a double thing, a secret ballot, and people who don't think so because for various reasons, it's expensive, it takes a lot of time. You get people working the polls, 88 people to vote. And the part I've always thought, if the town is upset about something, because the budget is crazy, or in past history, the town let a police chief go, was ready to let a town manager go, there would be no shortage of people who show up to be upset. So if there are only 140 people that show up to vote on the town budget, the other 6,100 could all show up if they wanted to, and they've voted by not showing up.
I just have a quick question. So we have voting, regular voting in November.
I'm sorry, say again?
So when you have regular voting,
Yeah,
you have all your staff here ready to go. Why can't you reconcile the vote is there?
Would you repeat that question? I
On
don't,
the fiscal
why,
year,
if they're voting anyway, why don't they vote on that as well?
because we work on a fiscal year, so it's July 1 to June
It's just a
30.
date.
We'd have to change the
I
charter.
have to change the chart.
Change the law.
Changing the date.
You got people going around with everybody's home and everybody's taxes. I would think more people would be interested in their budget because if they're not, then their taxes are down quite a bit.
How close is the school budgets deadline for a vote as in compared to the town's deadline for a vote for the budget? Do they kind of coincide with each other at all? So, you know, you did mention, okay, that there's the expense of getting everybody in here to hold a referendum just for the town budget. But what if you put the town budget and the school budget vote in a referendum on the same day?
I don't know that you can do that. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know.
That way you wouldn't be, you know, having the extra expense.
But of the 100 or so people that were at the RSU 18 budget meeting at the school, and I was the moderator, so I know that was what, 5 towns?
Yeah.
Oakland,
Right.
Belgrade, Sydney, China. So how many of those are from Oakland? 30? 30 people showed up to vote on the biggest portion of your taxes. Those are the people who cared enough to show up. The other people didn't care enough to show up. You can't make them care by having it a secret ballot.
we had more people vote on the 20% of your taxes than on the 60%.
But anyways, that would be a great discussion.
Referendum for the town budget, and I think Marin, like the school, would be very good for that. And you guys, I mean, have your own opinions about it, and what the situation is, you got to change the charter. Everything can be changed and things can be done. Sometimes the old way doesn't always work forever, sometimes it's time for a new way.
As a community, could go a long way with better informing people about how things work and why they work and when they work. I think we can do a better job of that and make it early information, not last minute information. I think as a community, we can do better at that.
You know, the town and the school, yes, we work together, but we are completely separate entities.
I understand that, but when is the fiscal year for the town?
July 1 to June 30th.
Okay, when's the fiscal year for the schools?
July 1 to June 30th.
So you could actually put them together on a referendum day.
Our charter says it has to be voted on at town meeting, May.
Well, some,
Budget validation referendum at the school is in
But-
June.
but somebody wrote the charter at one time. And back when they wrote it that way, that was probably very good back then. But I'm sure the charter's been around for at least a few generations, well, not generations, but at least a few decades, let's put it that way. Maybe it is time to take a look at that and say, you know, let's do the referendum.
That's why I think Bob has suggested we put it on an agenda item and see if more than just you 7 people show up.
Why don't we do that? Put it up
And
as
have that
agenda item,
discussion.
and
So
then we'll see what kind of audience comes in. So, you know.
The charter can be found on our website. I suggest anybody interested, print it and read it. And come with your suggestions, because if we're gonna change it, it's a 2-year process. to Change a charter.
Why so long?
We have to create a charter commission. That has to go through.
well, the council can request that it change without a charter.
If there's like one
Little,
little.
yeah,
little-
small piece, that's
little-
true.
Right.
How long ago was that charter written that way? Anybody know?
Is what?
How long ago was the charter written that way that was supposed to go by showing?
Only 30, I'm guessing 30 years.
It's a long time.
But I'll tell you that nothing has changed as far as town meetings. I mean, there were just the same number of people at town meetings 30 years ago as there are now.
But the population in Oakland has grown quite a bit.
Same number of people cared enough to go 30 years ago. Care to go today. You can't make people care. But I think it would be an interesting discussion, along with the things that our town manager has carried over in a note somewhere from the previous town manager about things that, and Kelly may have some things, people may have some things. That's a discussion for a council meeting.
All good? With that being said, Kelly, you made a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
I have a second.
Second.
Second by Bob. All in favor? Thank you, folks. Have a great night.
2004, when it was last updated.
A long time.
Yeah.
Kathy, your paperwork's connected.